Welcome to the Sesh. Get ready, get going.
It's that
Start
time.
another one.
Bowl season.
Ended up the holiday edition, right?
Yeah. It's the end of the
Coming into
holiday
New Year.
season. So we coming into a New Year's bowl season. So, you know, it's your boy Neff.
It used to be Mr. Butterstuff. Now it's Mr. Master. And we switching over to that coming out soon. I'll give you more information as that develops and pans out.
Okay.
Mr. Master.
Well, Mr. Master, with
Yes,
that
sir.
being said, moment of silence for the great Pele. He passed away today. So
Absolutely.
with that all being said, man, you know, he was one of the
Royalty,
greatest
man.
greatest soccer players of all time. I think he set so many standards within that sport. I think people like Pele had Messi, Ronaldo, guys like that probably wanted to idolize and mimic the game after him. So that's just great to have, like you said, have that royalty.
Yeah, man, when I was a kid, I had a homeboy of mine, I guess, because his family kind of had him more open to and acclimated to World Cup play or just soccer in general. So we'd always go back and forth about football and soccer. But man, you know, Pele is soccer is a world game.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's a big game. It's international. It's something that goes year round. There's tons of different leagues, interleagues and everything like that. But man, he's a record holder. He's an icon. I think that he kind of kicked down the barriers and the doors of a person of color.
Oh yeah.
There's
still their riffs still within that sport, but yeah, he was.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about them not even so much just within the sport, though, breaking down other barriers and being a successful businessman. You know,
right,
being
for sure.
an international icon. You know, some of that carries a lot of weight that a lot of athletes can't hold down. So I think that's the first barrier to me, anyways, that he really kicked in beyond what his achievement on the field.
For sure. Well, shit, man, we're gonna transition. Like I said, R.I.P. to the great Pele. We're gonna move on to actually American football. Raiders benched their quarterback Derek Carr, longtime player of the Raiders. I believe he
I
holds.
still say he didn't get benched.
You say he didn't get benched. I mean,
He
got removed from his job. He got fired. He got fired yesterday.
These moves are, as always, ladies and gentlemen, these moves are business-like. These aren't, your local high school team is making a move because a quarterback's play or attitude or what have you may not fit. These are moves that are made because of businesses. So I think that he's going to be trade bait. You know what I'm saying? I think that they already knew what they were going to do. I think they brought in Gervonta Adams and got him situated, or maybe not. Maybe he may be part of a package as well too. But man, these people making moves. That fool didn't get benched. You're protecting the asset that you're getting ready to trade. Like if you're in a position and you got a car that's lightweight or a little antique, it's going up in value as the years progress, but you still driving that.
I think some of the shit
But when it gets to the point that you know it's worth some value, you getting ready to sell it, you gonna bargain.
Oh yeah, I get that logic of it, but I think they put in a lot of the fall on Derek Carr. Like, I think the head coach, just because he comes from the Bill Belichick tree, doesn't make him a great coach. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he's never proven to be a great head coach. He's proven to be a great play caller.
But he proven to operate up under that protection, complexion for the protection.
I mean,
that's truly what that is for Daniels.
And so it's fucked up that you got a all-time record holder. I mean, I believe Derek Carr is within the top 5 Raiders passing quarterbacks, touchdown, probably completion percentages.
But he's a car. Remember, when you a car, it comes with a concussion. And it comes with you being a backup. And that's in their family line, bro.
See, that's
you know
hard.
how his brother went. You know how his brother went. And I liked him when he was at Houston.
Houston was a startup franchise.
Yes.
That ain't right. Houston
and they did him dirty. They didn't
protect the man. They didn't put him in positions to win. I mean, that shit matter. You got to be put in position to win. Certain sports, like I tell you all the time, football, coaching matters. Basketball, not so much. It matters, but not like football. Football, you got to know your X's and O's, and you get put in position to succeed. Now, if you're not capable of making the play, once you've been put in a position, that's a whole different conversation. You know what I'm saying? But most of these cats, they got to be to me, the Raiders were a playoff team last year under an interim coach with the same quarterback. The only new ingredient is the head coach. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's a fall guy situation. You know what I'm saying? It's a fall guy situation.
That's a good point.
Gervonta Adams, he's a new guy. Okay, I can see a player and a quarterback, a receiver, any player moving into a different team, different cities, gonna have a little bit of a transition period. But with all that being said,
okay, so real quick though, do you think that they brought Adams in as kind of a piece to say, hey, we've given you what you needed, knowing maybe that he still was going to end up being that fall guy?
I think the Raiders value, in their eyes, people value Derek Carr maybe too high. You know what I mean? He may be in the bottom half of the elite quarterbacks.
Okay, that's fair. I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? With that, we moving on to the damn bowl games. It's time to talk about these semi-pro players out here getting this bag and playing for these Xboxes and jumpsuits.
Man, now that we done got past the bootlicker times 2 shady corner bowls, you know, we starting to get into, you know, this week leading up into the semifinals is it's starting to, you know, the cream has risen to the top. So we starting to see a lot better football. You know, I think that both games yesterday.
Yeah, two local ties.
Fire.
Oklahoma
State. They was fire.
Y'all, excuse me. Take this moment to like and subscribe while I'm choking.
Absolutely. I'm doing the same thing. Don't forget to click that button.
But Arkansas and Kansas game was a damn barn burner, man. It started off slow as hell for Kansas. I was uninterested in the first half. I came back in the second half. Was like, oh shit, the game tied, went down the fourth quarter. But once again, I felt like it came down to coaching because Kansas made the stupidest fucking play you can make. Head coach takes the ball out of a quarterback's hand who's thrown for 4 or 5 touchdowns, puts it up in the backup's fucking hands. This some bitch knows that you gotta have it on this play. He throws it out the back of the end zone where nobody can catch it, man. I got to take it.
I think in that situation, well, yeah, that's what I'm just gonna say. I think in that situation, not even so much the pressure as well, but they were gassed. The entire team, the head coach, down to the secondary player that's running special teams or whatever, they were gassed. Kansas had kind of been that way all season, bro. They played with a lot of heart. They came out on fire. Where they go 5-0, 6-0?
Yeah, it is.
And then after that, they kind of, you know, they fell back true to form because I think they were starting to exceed beyond their physical and mental abilities, even on the coaching staff. And that's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing as far as their season went and how they strived and especially how they started out. They was on fire. But how they ended up, I think their coaching staff got gassed. That's really what I saw. I saw some players that still had some oomph in them, but they needed that last couple plays of scheme to make sure that they had confidence in the coaches.
I get it.
And their coaches were schematically tired. They were exhausted.
Okay.
But I'm not mad at them on that. You know what I'm saying?
Quick.
Because they made it to a bowl and they played very well.
Oklahoma State. It was a very, very, very big disappointment yesterday. Really, kind of like what I've been saying before. Some big changes got to happen in Oklahoma State. I've been really analyzing the situation over the last few months since the season ended, really the last month. And so I think if we're being realistic, if you go 2-18 in 18 years against OU, is that success?
No, it is not.
You know, you play for maybe 1 or 2 conference championship. Would any other coach keep a job under those circumstances?
I just think that his insulation is showing. That's the reasoning why that team, with the facilities that it has, with the money and the backing that it has, with the progressive legacy that is continuing to being built or was being built for this season. That's the only thing that I can kind of really point to.
Yeah.
I think that the coaching, not even the staff, I think the head coach is that complacent, bro.
Okay.
I watched him evolve from the offensive coach that will be sitting down with his quarterback or receivers drawing on some plays for the next series when his defense is out there and his calls that a head coach needs to be made, but he's sitting on the bench. So now he's on that sideline. He's hired other members of his staff that are competent enough to do some things. But, bro, the 2 things that are highlighting to me, especially for a Big 12 program, especially like Oklahoma State, is the offensive line is terrible. It has been terrible. And the recruiting has been even more abysmal. That should not happen with your track record, with your money, your updated facilities already. You ain't got to say, hey, we're going to do this. That shit has been done already. So that is unacceptable to me.
You dropping facts, like and subscribe. Man, kind of keeping it on the college football scene. Ed Reed leaves his alma mater, leaves a staff position.
I'm going to interrupt you. Let me do this real quick. Let me applaud him.
Yeah.
And let me say, the University of Miami, y'all some fucking fools. Y'all are some fools. But I'm glad that these things are happening to highlight these young brothers and these black men that are solid in the game, number one, but they're even more solid as men, and they're keeping those skills within our schools. So I like that. However long it lasts, because I ain't gonna hate on you. You decide to move around and the Power 5 will snatch you up after you do your thing.
It's bittersweet.
I ain't gonna be mad at you. I'm standing with you. Deion, you too.
You know, it's bittersweet because these coaches get opportunities, but they're not at the same level as their counterparts. So it makes me wonder why it is that Ed Reed, Deion Sanders, Eddie George, guys that are all in the NFL Hall of Fame, college football Hall of Fame at some point, right? Have to go to lower tier levels to prove themselves.
When their counterparts don't.
When their counterparts never have
and
to do
their counterparts
any
don't have the professional.
They don't have the cachet.
Resume.
They just don't have the cachet of any of those names to go inside. You have any one of us that have a son that plays sports, Ed Reed, Deion Sanders coming into our home. We're all geeked. We all damn geeked. You know what I'm saying? For a whole different reason. But with that being said, man, it's like, when are the University of Miami's, Florida State, two schools within the same area with two kids that were major factors for their university winning championship? Ed Reed for the University of Miami, Deion Sanders for the University of Florida State.
Well, I mean, I'm not even going to get those Power Fives, you know, that energy off of what's already been, you know, given that Ed Reed sacrifice given to Bethune-Cookman. So let that be where it is. I'm proud for them, you know, because I got to get my education, you know, on what their programs got going, what stars they got, you know, what recruits they got coming in. Now that he signed on, maybe they hitting the transfer portal a little bit. Who knows what's really happening?
Oh, that transfer portal real.
Yeah, things is cracking. It's an opportunity in the atmosphere now, man, for our Hall of Famers and our professionals from the game that are taking these coaching positions, man, they're really going to get a full scope of athletes now.
Oh, yeah.
To whereas that was not accessible.
For sure. I can believe that.
For real.
Man, what you skipping around over here to the great round ball. So what you think about Kyrie and the terror the Brooklyn Nets have been on and the lack of media coverage behind Kyrie and his play? I
want to know what our people think, because they've been kind of just bashing the man, thinking they put him into a corner like he was going to go away, put his contract and everything else. And the man is out here balling. But you ain't hearing nothing.
For sure.
Nothing at all. And you know, I've been Team Kyrie since day one too.
So, yeah, I don't like the Brooklyn Nets.
Disclaimer.
So, shit.
I don't even watch the NBA like that anymore, but I know you've been balling.
Anytime somebody speak up on our behalf and try to do the right thing, I'm all for that. But you know what I'm saying? Hardly or rarely do we kind of stand together and unified in that decision. So, you know, it'd be hard to call in that situation. I wish the brother great success on the court, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I want everybody in their field or profession to have success, because that's what we all strive for. But, you know, shit, I hope somebody like the Celtics kick that ass, you know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Even bigger than that, I hope you continue to use the NBA for the platform that they think they're not giving you no more, you know. The Nike not giving him the platform. They think they're not giving him no more, but everybody know. I mean, there's been, you know, little screenshots of his old previous shoes that he's continuing to wear with the Nike logo blocked out, but his messages on there.
Correct.
Like I'm saying, like we got to get past the allure and the luster of the sports and celebrity and all this other stuff, and look at what's really going on, and look at what our brothers and sisters that have been, you know, continually pushed down in the press through these same vibes. But to me, at first, that's why I'm kind of staying neutral when these things happen and watch how people move and stop judging folks. Because I'm liking how he kind of bouncing back from this whole situation. You know what I'm saying? He's finding another avenue, number one, to continue being able to be on that floor, which I didn't agree on how he went about it. But two, he's continuing to do things with it once he's out here again. It's not that he's just out there playing and hooping and balling. He's also continuing to let these messages be out there. I ain't stopped. And I'm also going to continue to make these people pay me my money. Because I'm going to be out here hooping and balling. Still being in the top 5 in my position in what I do. So let's pay attention to those things. And that's why I wanted to, you know, really talk about it and bring it up, because they try to vilify him and paint him off into this corner. That's what I want my brother Ye to step up and do. You got the resources too. Go ahead and continue doing what you're doing and find a different way.
Man.
I ain't gonna jump all off into it.
Last week, I was kicking Ye in his ass. So, but we're gonna skip over real quick, keep it on the NBA though, but skip over to the man Luka Doncic. Shout out to him with his 60-20-10. First player in NBA history with a 60 triple-double, 60-20 triple-double, I believe. So it was impressive as hell because they needed every last point against the Knicks. The Knicks were down a lot of players. Brunson, he didn't play in his return game. R.J. Barrett ended up hurting his hand in the game. Then I think, Tom Thibodeau, he's too arrogant, man. He be bullshitting on his rotation. You know what I'm saying? So
he's another one that got the protection because he don't evolve his coaching shit.
Nah,
he don't bring in no high offensive minds in the NBA.
No, for sure.
Like he don't do none of that shit. It's always defense. It's always hard nosed. It's always him being the dick, and he keep getting jobs. And it don't work long term. It does not pan out. Well, he gives you flashes in the pan because his teams play defense.
That's
and
the
he
old
got some young
mentality.
stars, but
that's just the old mentality of people believing that we need guidance. It needs to be someone there corralling us and leading us and pushing us. So man, it just be all different type of shit when it comes to pro. But Doncic did his thing, man. The Mavs needed every damn bit of them 60 points and them 20 rebounds to win the game because it went into overtime. So he had 2 great rebounds at the end where he caught the ball in midair and shot it midair before he even hit the floor. So that was impressive in itself.
Okay, 2 points that I got on Doncic. Is number one, the international factor. I think we really got to give enough props to this international game and what it's producing. Like it's bringing some hogs over here.
Well, only one championship. Only one championship though. Only one championship. Only one championship. Only one championship.
Dirk grabbed one too.
That's who else? That's the only one.
Giannis.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It produces some hogs. You can't say from here, man. It's a lot of the NBA stars right now.
The Thunder should be European city because we got more international players than anybody.
They're young. Gil, this is from Canada.
Yeah, so is Dort.
But SGA is another one. He's nasty too.
He's balling right now.
International game is they produce some. Okay, so then the other one for Doncic. Because to me, he's just another Harden. Is that sustainable for you to win a championship with your best player that is that dominant, but also that ball dominant, and pretty much everybody else exists in that NBA atmosphere? There's no reason to put any pressure on him to give the ball up, and other people evolve and get better at shooting or driving or whatever it is because he's that ball dominant.
I'm gonna make this shit quick. I think. I don't see Luka as transcendent enough to win multiple championships, right? Like, to me, you got to be a dog on both ends of the court. He's not a dog on that other end yet to be a championship player. So I just think Luka, he's young though, so he can grow into it. You know what I mean? So his story is just unwritten.
Yeah. Okay.
That type of shit. Man, moving on, man. We're gonna switch over here to the great sport of boxing. A little bit of somber news. Champion Gervonta Davis recently arrested for domestic assault. Lady's name is unknown at the current time. He was just released today, I do believe, but struck a woman upside her head.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, my responses to these situations when they happen is not probably the most PC because of my, things I've gone through in my life and being in those types of situations. So I'm not going to judge man or woman in either side of it, to be honest with you, because I know how those things go. To be honest, straight up. I wish I didn't.
If your hands is registered, you can't be hitting.
Right, and that's what I was.
Whose hands ain't registered?
Is that there's some things that you're gonna be provoked through. There's some things even if you didn't have that skill set, was gonna still happen. But as a man, you got to find a way to number one get up out of that scene and get away. You gotta remove yourself, bro. You gotta have some type of mental fortitude to understand the situation you in with the person that you in it with and what they're capable of doing. And then also tacked onto it, when you got that skill set, you especially got to get the hell up out of here. Like it's to the point your words is kind of just as included as bad as your hands is. So you can't put yourself in that situation. Now to see what happens beyond this point, whether the charges going to magically pop up and get dropped or something else like that, I don't know. But man, you can't do that. In this day and age, man, you even got to watch yourself a lot more being a black man and having that type of skill set and making sure you're watching your P's and Q's because I'm hating to seeing our people going through these types of situations.
I'm going to say
on both sides.
Say this and make it quick again, man. Keep your hands to your damn self. It's that damn simple, you know what I'm saying? Regardless what the situation is or isn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it ain't no ultimate threat. That's why I said, though, as a man, you got to get your ass up out of there. Because you know the day and age. Well, sometimes you got to, sometimes I got to get my point off too, though. You see what I'm saying? I can't just walk out and you said some old, I can't. I can't walk out, you say some fuck shit, and I'm just supposed to live with the fuck shit that you just said. Like,
Oh, man,
that's what it is.
Because the fuck shit is just what you said. It's fuck shit. It's designed and purposefully created to bring your dumb ass back so you can respond and escalate.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just gonna leave on a high note. I know how to remove myself, but I'm gonna be the last one saying the shit. I say here.
That last word shit and got a lot of motherfuckers either killed, incarcerated. You gotta have more maturity.
They weren't running fast enough.
You gotta move around. You gotta move around.
With y'all, man. Y'all don't do no run, man. Talk that shit, you better stand up.
So I hope that work
out.
out.
But at the same time, if you outnumbered, you should have a hard head or some fast feet. I don't know which one you pick it. You know what I'm saying? But better figure it out. But no, man, I just think it was unfortunate all the way around, and hopefully there's a commutable resolution to it.
We're gonna see. We're gonna find out. I think we're gonna end it off and try to finish it up with kind of symbolic too. Somebody, Hall of Fame, NFL player. I think, to be honest with you, because I was down there with this cat, I'm gonna say brother, during Hurricane Harvey in Houston.
Okay.
J.J. Watts, solid individual, man. All the way around, solid cat.
For sure.
I'm not gonna go into the stats and money that I know that cat personally did contribute to helping people out down there, but he motivated a lot of good things. And it took a lot of his personal effort, you know what I'm saying?
J.J. Watt, big time.
So yeah, J.J. Watt, man, great. I hated this motherfucker at Wisconsin. Hated him.
Why you hate J.J.?
Man, he was an animal. Man. He was an unblockable animal, bro. Triple team, double team. That shit didn't matter. And it's in the bloodline.
Oh yeah, for sure. TJ on that
brothers is nasty.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, he just, all around solid family, hard working, grass fed as we call them in our community, grass fed white boys. They those dudes, but they good cats. Real they care about people. People care about them.
I'm give him his kudos, man. He deserved it, man. 3-time defensive player of the year. You know what I'm saying? MVP. Like you said, just a outstanding dude off the field, on the field. You know what I mean? He suffered several injuries that slowed him down later in his career, but man, I don't know anybody in the game, fan of or participant of sport, that don't have much to say about J.J. Watt, man. He's just an awesome dude, man. So with that all being said, maybe we all should try to be more like J.J. Watt in life, man. Y'all have a great night. I'm out. Now, love.
Out of here. As always, click and like. Check us out.
You know
Please
it.
tune in.
You know it.
Giving that vibe. Y'all be safe for this new year. Peace.
Oh, it is New Year. Fuck it. Be safe.